You know, when the price of homes are as high as they are in today's market, and you're spending your hard-earned money on a brand new house or what you assume to be a brand new house, it would certainly come as a surprise to see a rotted piece of lumber used in a brand new wall system, right?
New construction is not what it's cracked up to be. I know you want to have a brand new home with no issues, no headaches, but I hate to tell you, new construction can come with issues and headaches. And in this video, I'm going to tell you why you should never buy a new construction home. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but new construction does present a whole bunch of issues that a lot of people are not aware of. And again, I do these videos to educate the average home buyer about what to look for when buying a home. In this video, I'm going to talk about the high cost of new construction, the lack of quality in a lot of new construction homes, the delays, the depreciation, resale challenges, all the things. So these will be enough to make one never want to buy a new construction home. Let's talk about the higher cost. Typically, a new construction home will be more expensive than your typical resale because why? The materials are pretty expensive nowadays, and they just generally are. The homes come at a premium. One thing in particular you need to be aware of is that there are a lot of add-ons and upgrades. I helped a couple buy a Toll Brothers home a few years ago, and when they were buying the home, when they walked through the model, they loved the lighting, the chandeliers, the different lights that the model home had. But then when they decided and selected on the particular model home they wanted and the package that that home came with, that package did not offer all the lighting, the flooring, and the tiles that were in the model home that, you go and you look at and you see all the beautiful things in the home, and that's how you want your home to look. So they ended up spending more money to get the specific lighting that was in the model home because the package they chose didn't offer it. And that $850,000 home ended up costing them close to $950,000 when it was all said and done. So this is something you all need to be aware of. And another thing you need to think about are lot premiums. So if you're driving around the community and you see a piece of land on the cul-de-sac, or if you're going to be buying a home that's on the golf course, you can expect to pay a lot of money on top of that base price, like anywhere from $25,000 to $40,000, $50,000 on top of the base price, just because of the location of the lot. So yeah, these new homes can get pretty expensive. I want to also talk about property taxes with new construction homes. Now, this is becoming an issue with people after they buy new construction home. They're seeing their property taxes rise after a year or two. And the reason being is that when you are purchasing the home, there's no house yet to assess. What lenders are doing is they're going to give you an estimated property tax and to calculate what your mortgage payment's going to be. And how these lenders are calculating that is one of several ways. They'll either take an older tax rate from the local area and use that number, or they'll say take 1 to 2% of the sale price and use that as a property tax, or they can even do like a third of the sale price and they'll multiply that by whatever the tax rate is in that area. But the problem is, what people are not aware of is that property tax is going to be higher in the next couple of years. So once more homes are built in that community, now they have enough homes to assess the area, to assess the homes, and now your property tax is going to go up by maybe several $1,000s. I did a video last week talking about this very thing, where a couple bought a new home and they were all excited about their mortgage payment because it was so low. Then they realized 2 years later that mortgage payment went up substantially because the property taxes went up. This could be a potential problem with new construction homes. If you're not aware of this, it could get very expensive after you've lived in it. So because of these costs, I don't know, this could be a reason why one would never want to buy a new construction home. Next, let's talk about the construction quality and the issues with these new builds. Now, just like the TikTok you saw in the beginning of the video, there are several inspectors that are out there on TikTok that are inspecting brand new construction homes and finding a multitude of issues. And man, these builders are hopping mad that these inspectors are doing it. But you know what? Good on these home inspectors, because they are now educating all these people what to look for in their new builds. These home inspectors are finding some pretty outrageous things that are wrong with these new construction homes. And quite frankly, it's just unacceptable. For example, check out this video from Gold Star Inspections and look at the stuff he's finding. I am just dumbfounded.
Look at this. Wow. And over there we got a lifted shingle. And then we have craftsmanship at its best. The vent pipe going to the right.
Next, we have this home inspector. He goes by Inspector AJ. I love Inspector AJ. I've been following him for years. And if you're on TikTok, you like to watch TikTok, go follow Inspector AJ. He's so great at educating people about what to look for. And this new construction home that he inspected was $750,000. And take a gander at what he found.
So the architectural shingles are actually installed in a woven pattern, and most manufacturers will actually void the warranty for doing so. That's not how they're supposed to be installed. But as we come down to this corner of the roof, they actually didn't tack this section down. So we have underlayment, exposed drip edge, and shingles that can easily be blown away in the event of a storm. And we already know the toilet's loose. And the bathroom door does not properly latch. And we have another toilet that, you guessed it, it's loose. And my favorite is they completely missed nailing the truss altogether. Like, they just didn't try.
He actually said this was the longest home inspection report that he'd ever done on a new construction home. That's ridiculous.
Oh my gosh, this is crazy.
There have also been stories about big builders such as Lennar and D.R. Horton that have been having some major construction issues. For example, there's this homeowner in Florida who goes by the name of Jessica Perez. She had a home built by D.R. Horton, and it's been nothing but headaches for her. She literally had to move all of this stuff out of her home and live in an apartment while D.R. Horton went back in to make all of these repairs. Check this out.
Stucco started cracking down the sides of the house, that side and the back side. So they had to repair that stucco.
And when we went inside the home, floors, counters, and cabinets were covered with paper and plastic. Jessica Perez and her family were staying in a hotel as workers repaired the ceiling.
There were 7 cracks that appeared in the kitchen after they fixed the ceiling the second time. So this is the third time that they've worked on this ceiling.
Walls and ceilings came down so crews could repair and replace warped and bowed framing, ceiling joists, and trusses.
So why are these new construction homes being built so poorly? Well, think about what's happened the last 4 years. There's just been such a huge demand for homes, and there's been an increase in new builds. Okay, great. And I've been saying this, we need more homes to be built, but the problem is they're rushing building these homes and the builders are cutting corners. Now, look, I'm not saying this never happened prior to the pandemic. I mean, there's always been issues, but they seem to be more so these days just because of the demand and having to get these homes built, get them completed. Listen, if you're going to buy a new construction home, hire your own home inspector to come out and inspect the home during the different phases of the build. It's going to cost you money. Home inspectors run about $300 to $500. I get it, but to me, that's money well spent to save you massive headaches and major expenses down the road. I don't know if you're aware of this, but I'm connected to a lot of agents in this country. And if you need the name of an agent in your area to help you sell or buy a home, click the link down below, fill out the form, and I will get back to you within about 24 hours and we'll have a conversation and I will help you get connected to an agent in your area. Another issue with new construction is the delays and the uncertainty of the completion of the home. This is everybody's biggest fear when buying a new construction home. Now, there are always unforeseen issues like weather, labor shortages, supply chain disruptions. And I'm going to share a little story about a supply chain disruption, how it messed up my friend buying his new home. I'll get into that in a minute. But the problem with those delays, not only is it affecting somebody's quality of life, you're in limbo. So say if somebody's renting a place while they're waiting for their home to be completed, only to hear from the builder that we're not sure when this is going to be done, that's a big problem. Another huge problem is that it'll affect your financing. Yes. So when you're getting a mortgage, you want to lock in on your interest rate. That lock-in will only last about 60 days. And if the builder comes back to you and says, hey, we're running into delays, it could be another few months or more, that's a problem because then what happens if the interest rates rise by the time you're ready to close? Now, look, you could lock in for 60 days. You could try to pay a little extra to extend it, but that uncertainty, if the builder can't commit to a time as to when it's going to be done, Oh my gosh. So here have you budgeted of what your mortgage payment is going to be based on the interest rate at the time when you spoke with the lender and got the pre-approval, and now you're going to be delayed, say 6 months, and that interest rate could go up. So that could be a big problem, and it's a big stressor. Now let's talk about my friend who bought a house in a brand new community, and he was supposed to close in September. Come to find out, the summer prior, just a couple of months before, there was still no power to his home or the other homes that were built on his street because there was no transformer. Why? Supply chain disruptions. So the builder came back and said, we don't know when these transformers are coming in, and we can't give you a completion date. So here he was all set to close in September, only to just be sitting around in limbo waiting. And he was in that situation where he was getting a mortgage, and oh my God, what's going to happen with the interest rate? He ended up closing the following January, a mere 3 months later, 4 months later. That was just outrageous. Fortunately, he was able to get a decent interest rate. It worked out in his favor. But oh my gosh, we were so stressed out for him because here he had planned on what his mortgage payment was going to be. And then it just could have all blown up and it could have been way more expensive for him. But thank God it worked out for him. But there were also people on his street that were also waiting for their house to be completed. And a lot of people were retirees. They sold their homes. They were in transition. They were renting, and they couldn't give an end date to their lease because they had no idea when the homes were going to be completed, when that transformer was going to come in. Oh my gosh. I just can't. That's a reason I would never buy new construction. Oh my God. Now let's talk about depreciation and resale value. Now, it is true that like a new car, when you buy a brand new construction home, it may depreciate right away if the market is saturated with other new construction homes that are similar to the ones that you bought. But now down the road, so say you have to move in 3 or 5 years, life changes, something happens, you get a new job, now you have to sell it. There could be issues in resale because now if there's more new homes that were built in the community and now you want to go sell your home, and if you want to make more than what you paid for it, that may not happen. If those other new homes that are being built are, say, going to be the same price as yours, or if the market has shifted and now the builder is trying to offload this inventory, now they're doing price reductions. Which home do you think buyers are going to buy? Do you think they're going to buy your home that's a few years old, or are they going to go with the new construction that's either the same price as yours, or it could actually be less now because now the market's changed? That could be a problem. If you're buying new construction, plan on being in that home for a while, like 10 years or more. Look, I understand life happens and you have to sell. I get that. But be aware this could potentially happen. So it's not like a resale home or a regular pre-existing home where, the values are going to go up, and, what's going on in that current market, in that particular neighborhood, the values will hold. In a new construction community, you may have some challenges there with your resale. So another reason, I wouldn't consider buying a new construction home. So these are many reasons why one should never buy a new construction home. And again, I know I'm going to get flack for it. I make these videos to educate you and to help you make good decisions on your real estate purchase. And did you know there are just several types of homes that you should never consider buying? If you want to know what they are, you can watch this video right here. Thank you so much for watching me today. To get your dose of real estate reality, my name is Jackie Baker, and I will see you next time.